Impact Wrestling presents Against All Odds. Who will seize victory in their battle against all odds? Find out live June the 9th from the Ohio Expo Center in Columbus, streaming on Impact Plus, YouTube for Impact Ultimate Insiders and Fight. Tickets are now on sale at Eventbrite. Alex Shelley earns Impact World Title shot versus Steve Maclin against all odds. At Under Siege, Alex Shelley triumphed over Moose and Eddie Edwards and Jonathan Gresham and Yuya Uemura and Frankie Kazarian to become #1 contender for the Impact World Title. Later in the night, Steve Maclin remained Impact World Champion when he defeated PCO in a violent no disqualification match. Just 2 weeks later at Against All Odds, Maclin must now defend the Impact World Title once again, this time against one of the most accomplished stars in Impact Wrestling history, Alex Shelley. The Motor City Machine Gun will be looking to capture the Impact World Title for the very first time in his career. Will Shelley realize his dream in Columbus, or will Maclin's mayhem keep him at the top of the mountain? First time ever 8-4-1 match to determine #1 contender at Slammiversary. Impact Wrestling will make history at Against All Odds when an innovative new match type determines the #1 contender for the Impact World Title at Slammiversary. It's called an 8-4-1 match, and the rules are as follows. The match begins as an 8-man tag. The winning team then competes against one another in a 4-way match, winner of that advancing to the main event of Slammiversary. On one side, Bully Ray and Jonathan Gresham and Heath and Nick Aldis will unite. Standing across the ring from them will be Moose and Mike Bailey and Rich Swann and PCO. Not only is this one of the most star-studded matchups in recent memory, but enemies will be forced to work together if they want a shot at the Impact Wrestling's most coveted prize. X Division title rematch official for Against All Odds. Trey Miguel escaped Under Siege with his X Division title intact when he blinded Chris Sabin with spray paint to steal the victory. Miguel may have thought that his problems with the X Division Pioneer were behind him, but he was wrong. Due to his controversial actions, Miguel will be forced to defend his title against Sabin once again, this time in a huge rematch at Against All Odds. Will lightning strike in Columbus, or will a new X Division champion be crowned? Master Slamovich and Killer Kelly collide in a dog collar match. At Under Siege, the brawl that started on Impact between Master Slamovich and Killer Kelly continued all across the Impact Zone in London, Ontario. Kelly was choking the life out of Slamovich with a steel chain when the security broke things up. In an attempt to settle their off-the-rails rivalry once and for all, Slamovich and Kelly will now meet in a dog collar match at Against All Odds. What will happen when these two knockouts are chained together? One thing is for certain, it's going to be an all-out war. The good hands look to dethrone ABC against all odds. Recently on Impact, Jason Hotch defeated Impact World Tag Team Champion Ace Austin in what was widely considered to be a huge upset. But the following week, the other half of the reigning Impact World Tag Team Champions, Chris Bay, evened the score when he triumphed over John Skyler. After retaining the Impact World Tag Team titles against Subculture, ABC will now defend against the Good Hands at Against All Odds. With the veteran Brian Myers in their corner, are the Good Hands about to take their careers to the next level? Eddie Edwards versus Frankie Kazarian at Against All Odds. After communication broke down between Eddie Edwards and Frankie Kazarian 2 weeks ago on Impact, Frankie came to believe that Eddie Edwards was setting a poor example as a locker room leader. Case in point, after defeating Yuya Uemura in a highly competitive contest, Edwards disrespected Uemura by pulling away a handshake after the match. A confrontation ensued between Edwards and Kazarian, resulting in physicality between Kazarian and Eddie's wife Alyssa. The two will now face off on June the 9th at Against All Odds to determine who the better locker room leader truly is. Knockouts tag team match at Against All Odds. Since her debut in May, Trinity has been at odds with Giselle Shaw and her entourage. Having accepted Trinity's Slammiversary challenge, Deonna Purrazzo will now have to team with her next challenger, as she and Trinity will face Giselle Shaw and Savannah Evans on June the 9th at Against All Odds. Can Trinity and Purrazzo coexist ahead of their Knockouts World Championship match in July, or will Shaw and Evans prove more dangerous than ever after taking out Jordan Grace? Joe Hendry versus Dirty Dango rematch set for Against All Odds. The revelations that Dirty Dango was responsible for the attack on Santino Marella sent shockwaves through Impact. Since then, we've seen a much different side of Dango, angry and bitter, and the perceived shortcomings of the next generation of wrestlers. Joe Hendry stood up to Dango, but low blow in their Digital Media Championship match at Countdown to Under Siege stopped Hendry in his tracks before Santino returned to save the Digital Media Champion. Marella is reluctant to step inside the ring again, given his Director of Authority role, and instead made a rematch between Hendry and Dango at Against All Odds on June the 9th. Madman Fulton returns, OVE reunites against the Design at Against All Odds. Last week on Impact, the ongoing war between Sami Callihan and the Design raged on following OVE's victory over Decay. Once the match had ended, Sami Callihan and Jake Crist were jumped by Dina and Con and Angels. Rich Swann eventually evened the odds, but Callihan was disappointed that it took him so long to arrive. At Against All Odds, Swann will be preoccupied as he competes in the first ever 8-for-1 match. This means that Callihan and Crist must find a new tag team partner to battle the Design in Ohio Street Fight. The Monsters, Madman Fulton, that's right, Callahan and Chris will reunite with another former member of OVE, and there will be no disqualifications, no countouts, and anything goes. Who will seize victory in their battle against all odds? Find out live June the 9th from the Ohio Expo Center in Columbus, streaming on Impact Plus, YouTube for Impact Ultimate Insiders, and Fight. Tickets are now on sale at Eventbrite.